finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
With the ButtKIcker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKIcker, the future is feeling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to PTM Racing TV. It's time for the nightcap. Our nightcap is going to be bringing us down to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where today we're about to see some heavy artillery thrown around the track. We're about to see some heavy racing thrown down on the old version, the best version, if you ask me, of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader, Christian Charger, joining you guys here today. It's good to see you all back here once again here, and we're ready to get down to business as always. So let's cap this night off here. It's time for your ButtKIcker grading order starting lineup. Out of the gate, we will see on the start, well, looks like a little bit of love for Eugenio Lalonzo. He will be your number 1 seed. Chris James will be on the outside of him in the 82. Run number 2, it's going to be Alan Wilson in the 79s outside 96. That's Brandon Sheffield. Run number 3, it's Shaden Hopp in the 81s outside 78. Andrew Griesbaum. Run number 4, Edward Kane. The 10 is outside the 86. Jason Jackson. Run number 5 is going to be Austin Derbyshire, and the 64 is outside 24 of Aiden Doyle. Row number 6 is going to be Brody Gunter, and the 01's outside. That's the 68. That's Victor Stank. Row number 7, Lawrence Shaughnessy Jr., and the 9 is outside. That'll be the 18 of Rodrigo Roga. Row number 8 is going to be Dave Chevrolet, and the 85 is outside the 484 of Derek Whitford. Row 9 sees Matthew Kleinschmidt, and the number 16 is outside the 72. That's Guillermo Albertango. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names. I already know I'm probably messing up on that one. Row number 10, Daniel Walker, and 74 is outside. That will be Steve Olive. Row number 11 is Rocky Harbinson, the 71's outside. Kevin Whitford in the number 17. Row number 12, Daryl Whitford, and the 21's outside. Sean Ryan in the number 31. Row number 13 will be Colby Lindbergh. And his outside will be Oscar Henson. Row number 14 is Spencer Clark, and his outside Nick Baresi. Row number 10 is going to be Brian Traeger. His outside Bobby Hartmans. Row number 16, Timothy Babick, and his outside James South. Row number 17 is going to be Kenneth Whitford. His outside, that will be Omar in the 90. And then finally it will be Wild Bill Matthews and Bryson Matthews rounding out the 36 drivers today. They come from all walks of life. They come from all walks of planes. A whole new lineup and a whole new field of drivers. It's time to see what these drivers can bring to the table and what they'll have in their stakes and at their forte. Bringing them around off the corners on the turn number 4. We'll bring him straight to the green flag. Start this one off. Here we go. And our first caution's already out here, unfortunately, on the front straightaway here. Trouble's down there as problems loom up here for the 145 laps here. Let's take a look at the replay here and see what happened in this case. Looks like Guillermo Albertango, unfortunately, did not allude to the fact that this is a quad oval style track. Thought he could get a run early and decided to go a little too early to the outside. Ends up finding the wall protection instead of possible race lead contentions here. So field will have to stretch on by. Have to get things figured out here a little bit. See what they can bring to the table. See if they can get this kind of cleared out on the track. A lot of craziness to say the least here for the start. So field will have to get kind of cleared back out on the track, and drivers will have to be a little bit more aware of their surroundings, a little bit more of their hit markers or spots that can really get something going with. Again, at Atlanta Motor Speedway, this problem with this track is that, unlike what we saw earlier, where it being so narrow and we kind of edged out for the plate track racing, this track honestly kind of resembles more of a kind of a race background style and go, if you will. There's the hard charges, there's the short runners, there's the full run brinks, the fuel liners. It's really a racer's track if you can time it just right, but the toughest part of it, to me anyway, has always been whether or not you can find yourself in the proverbial line, the proverbial spot to get something going with these drivers. This being a 145 lap ordeal too, this definitely makes things a lot more difficult, a lot more treacherous for drivers out here to kind of get things going. Chris James right now piling it in the 82 here, trying to put some gear wrench Ford Mustang up on the brink as Eugenio Alonso, the number 27 driver, is currently the race leader here. He had a pretty good qualifying time, to say the least here, and with the amount of speed and control he really brings to the table, was it any really of a surprise for him and his crew. Of course, some other big names that really like to kind of park around here and put on a fight here. Of course, you can't count out the Under Armour number 24 of Andy Doyle kind of popping around here. That and the 01 Auto Trader here of Brody Gunter, another driver that has been known to put in a solid amount of work and solid amount of trade here, looking to do much of the same as we're getting ready to get drivers back out on the run, back onto the spot. Double filed up on the race start ends here. Everyone paced in position. The pace car's lights are turned off. The drivers are ready to go back at it here. Centered away and centered off here. The field is now parked in position. They are put in the placement in their line of sight. Now it's all about who can handle the momentum and handle the charge ahead of it. Down onto the front straightaway they go here, piling them on down, get them ready to fire back in. Here we go. Can we get some racing in? Let's see. Eat the asphalt, eat the turf, and get the racing going on this nerf. Much better start. I think a lot of that had to do with just the fact that a lot of drivers were kind of a little more picky about where they made their move out of the gate, really finding their spots out of the line. They know this is a long, long race, and getting through this chunk of a field, this kind of a chunk of a driver's line here, can be very tedious and very hard to do. Some already even falling back out of the position, out of line here, as we take it up towards a 3 wide stance here, coming off of turn number 2. Jason Jackson, the 86, right now trying to keep it up there with Jaden Hop. And the number 81, Hop, just barely right up ahead of him. As you can see, the 24 of Aiden Doyle sneaking his way right back on in place here and back on the fight. Your battle for second place commences. Brandon Sheffield and then the 96, and then the 27, Eugenio Alonso and the 27. Holding back the reins on the top side while Chris James is your new leader here in the 82. He's got the lead locked up. It's an absolute beautiful sight to behold here, just seeing all these cars and all these drivers just trying to hammer down and muscle their way to the field, trying to find openings when they can. That's the best thing about seeing 30 or 40 drivers just put it out on the track. And seeing who can outlast, who can survive the longest. Steve Olaf here, currently in the top 20 bracket here, trying to stabilize in and maybe make something work a little bit later. But you can see the car is just not quite handling as well or as tightly as he thinks he really feels it should. Darrell Whitford on the 21 now, kind of being the old whippersnapper and just snapping right back into the field, back into the fray. 2 spots up here for Whitford. You know, I think too, really, I'm going to be kind of keeping a close eye out as well. I was wanting to know if possibly it was going to happen or not. Is really with the amount of control and the amount of speed these cars can carry. You know, well, how is that draft line going to work, and how is that speed going to be able to hold these things online? Because again, when they brought the new Super Speedway version here up on the actual IRL racing, we saw a completely different version of what we're watching right now, which is drivers pack racing and closely guarding their shots and guarding their positions. This is the complete and utter opposite of that, as problems go down here for number 14 and James South. Timothy Babbitt, unfortunately, looks like he might have some problems here as well. So, bit of a good run though for as many cars we've seen here already. Let's see what happens here with this one. It looked like it's kind of a racing ordeal for the 14. Yeah, you can see right as he tried to bring it down a little lower, the car wasn't going to have none of it. Try to steer it off and everything else kind of went out of line, out of touch here. That is a really big problem a lot of drivers are going to face here. These cars, the steering on them really, I've mentioned it time and time again, but it really is a big factor, it's a big issue. Is that because it's a much stiffer setup, it's a much stiffer little workaround, you really have to time this car, really in my opinion, better than you have to time anything else out there. For race-wise, and for overall control. So drivers right now having to get re-squared away here, get centered off again. Race fans, when we come back, more action to be had here on PTM Racing TV. Stay tuned with us here on the show.
With the ButtKIcker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKIcker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, back on PTM Racing TV. Still right now under the caution, our second caution of the day here for these drivers. Second caution came, unfortunately, when the 14 kind of lost a little too much control off turn number 2, trying to drive it harder off the bottom end of the track. Now having to tie back to his speed and overall control and runoff here. Alright, so field will work their way on back around now. They'll get everything taken care of here. Drivers prepared back for this one. Double filed in for the restart zone here. Drivers now preparing up for this one. Chris James, Brand Sheffield, Eugenio Alonso, Alan Wilson, and Edward Kane. Looking to make a bit of an impact here on this one with Brody Gunter, Aiden Doyle, Austin Derbyshire, Jackson, and Derek Whitford. Looking to maybe make some runs off here. Off the corners, and they go. Back into the green flag restart. Diving in deep, trying to find some speed. Here you see right on the bottom lane goes the 0-1. That is Brody Gunter. Trying to make a move on Edward Kane, the number 10 here. Kane, we've seen him before and know what his tricks are up for the book. He can always put on a bit of a show, put on a bit of a fight here for him and his team. Matthew Kleinschmidt here in the number 16 now piloting it right into play here, putting a fight up on that 86 of Jason Jackson. Jackson trying to hold him down on his bottom line while keeping him up topside for some speed. But the outside line looks like it may be gripping just a little bit harder here. Seems to be giving him a little bit more control, a little bit more reign around the track. And that's kind of the big thing to really watch out for here, as we got even more to watch out for here. Big wreck ensuing here. Drivers wrecked hard off on turn number 2. Trying to get a number on that one. It looks like it's the 85 of David Shively. Ooh. Huge wreck to say the least here. Let's take a look at the replay and see what happened exactly. And it looks like Gunter actually had troubles already. We'll take a look back at that one in a minute here, but let's see what the 85. You can see right there the right side just goes completely flat on him. And he just ran right down into traffic there, had nowhere to go, and neither did any driver. He tried to get out of the way, but my goodness. Took a huge hit there, unfortunately, and took a huge little spot up on that one, and that did not have to feel good. And you can see Brody, what he was trying to do, he was trying to stay out of the way. It looks like he overdrove turn 4, jammed that right front end of the car. And then the 85 Pennzoil shell machine, you can see right here, this is where everything went completely haywire for him, and bam, just ouch. He is okay though. Shively is talking to the crew and talking with his team out there. Says the only thing he's a little bit mad about is the fact that he damaged up that car, but he says he's all right at least. That was a hard hit though, to say anything else about that one. So Brandon Sheffield here right now. Gonna see what he can do in the 96 here. Gonna have a lot to go on down there for him and his team. Definitely a lot of craziness mixed in there. Swamp Fox Motorsports represented here today, of course, by Aiden Doyle, Andrew Reesbaum, Brody Gunter, and David Shively. E-Speed's got a little bit of help with Rocky Harpins, and Steve Olaf. High side team going to Alan Wilson's team side. Chris James, Jaden Hopp, Lawrence Shaughnessy, and Victor Stank. And of course, we got one sim down there with a little bit of love down for the team of Austin Derbyshire, James South, Matt Kleinschmidt, and Timothy Babcock in this one. Loga Sport going with Eugenio Alonso, Gole Albertango. I'm sorry, Albertango. I'm probably going to screw that name up the whole time. Omar Camoligo and Rodrigo Loga representing up for that Loga Sport here. Well, driver's going to double file him up now in position here and get this one squared away. Double file it up for the restart zone here. We are ready to bring the heat and the pain back into place. And the green flag back on and out. We're back up and ready to go. Oh, a little trouble down there though, and the pit road. Steve Olaf here kind of clambered down. We got our caution out on the track. Whoa. And that's yet again more troubles. Take a look at the replay here and see what the heck happened here exactly. And it looks like nobody went off the line there, unfortunately. Take another look at it from our camera angle here, see if we can get a better clip at the 21, I believe, was the one that started this one. Oh, nope, actually it was right below it there. Looks like it was on the... looks like the 68 of Victor Stank. Came right out of the gate. I'm not really sure if he just over throttled it or what happened there. One more look at it. This will be the last camera angle we'll show for me on this one. And looks like his issue is right there. He actually just got a little too close to the grass, went in there, and once he hit that grassy plane, it pretty much got everybody in trouble and put them into a little bit of a handful to deal with here. Boy, what a tough break there for them and the crew. So, field once again just gonna have to admit up front, have to really kind of look at this race from multiple ends and multiple spectrums. But this is definitely one of the harder races they'll have to endure, just because of how many drivers are out on the track and how many drivers they got to really rely on trust to get a good start with a car that's as tough as they get to kind of get these kind of starts. I would presume that probably makes things a little bit more weary, a little bit more, it's a bit of a scary thought, if you will. Just to even try to get off the line, that's us trying to get the speed going for these guys. So now double file back up in the restart zone, and field will get ready to go yet again. Riding him off down on the front straightaway yet again. Chris James leads the field. Brandon Sheffield will try to hunt him down. Down the bottom end here, yeah, fighting him off. Sheffield, huge gain on the position here. Takes the race lead away from James. He'll bring him on down the back straightaway, has the early advantage. In the back of the pack, swooping, sniping, and controlling. Andrew Griesbaum of the 78 here trying to stay right up ahead here of some teammates, trying to help out some of his fellow Conrads here to get right back into this fray, into this fight. The 11. Robbie Arbens now moving right up in place here. He takes over from the 99. Timothy Babbitt looking to try to keep up with them. The Ford versus Chevy rivalry reveals itself yet again as that E-Speed Pro RCN3. Number 11 keeps right in pace. Ooh, and Matthew Kleinschmidt way off pace there. Right on the bottom lane. Nearly got kind of ran over by the 99 there. Colby Lindbergh, the 95, right now having to deal with some added company there from James South from the 14s. While the 20 of Brian Matthews still hanging up and still kind of keeping up with the pace in the position here. These guys, man, they are absolutely doing what they have to and doing what they need to just to stay out of the problematic zones and stay out of the troublesome zones. But again, how difficult is it for you as a driver really to keep your close eye out on that stuff and really keep your eye out for what could lie ahead? Well, with the speeds they carry, with everyone kind of managing the throttle and tempo in their pace, I'd say it's time we turn the mics off for a sec and let's crank it up a little bit down here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Boy, you can just feel all that power, all that momentum these drivers bring to the table here. They're just trying to get around any kind of angle, kind of any spot they can find here when they can get to it. But at the same time, so many drivers really just find themselves in kind of the worst predicable ends, kind of the worst spots to really throw themselves into towards the wire. Single file cars now starting to clear up a little bit. This is where things kind of die down slightly, but not to a point where it's going to go away that easily. Kenneth Whitford here, big problems down there. The front of the hood is damaged up badly here. No caution thrown just yet. I'm not sure if they will allow him to get it to pit road and they'll throw the caution really late here, but they want to keep it going, they're saying in the booth. Alan Wilson, the 79 now, looks like he's kind of made his mark up here. He's starting to make a charge back up into this field. He's right up there with Chris James here, as well as Sheffield. Times the speed, times the momentum. Maybe looking to get something on both of them for the price of one. James getting a good push there. He is driving extremely hard towards that bottom lane, looking for any kind of opening he can get. Problems down there for Colby Lindbergh though in the 95. He is coming to a dead stop there in that true timber. He's gonna try to keep it on the track straight as can be. He gets it to be there, so he'll be all right. And the refired on the track. No caution yet. Downboard camera here with Eugenio Alonso yet again, the 27, trying to get right up there at Al Wilson, Chris James, and Sheffield. So much speed and control around the track and around these corners here. You gotta really watch yourself around old Atlanta, because the thing is, yeah, you can go wide open here with really any car for that matter, any kind of vehicle, but the thing is, the Atlanta Motor Speedway is known as Hot Atlanta for a reason. It tears tires up, it tears cars up, and it will tear up anything really that boils down to anything too much or too little of timing. You really have to be very careful, very optimistic, and very self-aware of what you're going to bring to the table as the battle for the race lead. Tosh, anything up front right now still continues to carry on. And the caution flag flies on now. Really about a good time here, I would say, for that caution for some of these guys to bring out here, so that way they can get a bit of a break here. But unfortunately, the same cannot be said for what has happened to Rocky Harpins, as well as Guillermo Albertango. See if we can take a look at the PTM replay here and see what happened here exactly. You can hear one of the drivers spun on around. Looks like that was Albertinho, I believe. See if we can see what happened to Guillermo. No, looks like it won't show us what happened. We'll only be able to show you kind of the end result of it. Again, that's not us blinking out of this time. Again, this is actually the drivers. Unfortunately, too many cars on the track for us to see and showcase. Just kind of how we have the settings on our stuff and set. We will eventually probably fix that and change that up a little bit. Be well aware of that. Actually caught two drivers for the price of one here, and you can see as soon as he spun, he actually got 3 or 4 of them. So Harpins and Daniel Walker all suffering damage from Albertinho there. Pit stops now being made out on the track here. Drivers will get squared away here. So right now we'll have a new leader set on the pole here. If he stays out, Timothy Babcock will be the new leader. Jason Jackson and then Kevin Whitford will be in the 3rd place spot respectively. 2nd and 3rd between the two. And looks like Babcock will stay out, so will Jackson. Makes things a little bit more interesting, kind of shuffles the drivers up and wheels the deal up a bit here. So one more time on by here. Now we're going to get these lights turned off on the pace car. Babcock will be your new leader. He'll start them up and get these guys on the charge here. Those that went in a pit road though with a fresh set of tires and some fuel under the hood definitely will make things very, very difficult for your two front runners up front. Alright, bringing right around town. Now turn number 4 yet again. And it's time to let the drivers just go out here and put on a fight, put on their show for them. Coming down to the end, down the wire, green flag, back on out. Right, I'm on down the back straightaway here. Sheffield, a little bit of a fresher set. Same with Chris James, and Babcock really left all alone. Up on that top side, got his lap led, but it's not going to really give him much of a help here when he's got such a field right behind him, literally taking this thing to the limit. Jason Jackson right now, the 86, kind of piloting it up right at the Under Armour number 24 of Aiden Doyle. Aiden Doyle trying to hold up on the outside, trying to give himself kind of run up where Jackson seeing the bottom lane. There are two ways to get around this track, which is that top side or that bottom. Most drivers would tell you though they'll aim towards the bottom lane for the start and kind of head around as much as they can, but there's plenty of openings and plenty of runs off, and if you get the outside of work, you generally are driving that thing straight into the ground because it's very tricky to hang it up there, but these next gens kind of make it tricky to really drive anywhere for that matter, so steering less in, well, let's just say it helps out tremendously here for everything. Field's starting to stretch him down though a little bit. You can see a lot of guys kind of getting a little bit closer into the ends on the spectrum here, trying to just ride this thing out. So a little side-by-side battle yet again here. As Sean Ryan, the 31, and Darrell Whitford have a nice little tussle here coming through turn number 3 and 4. Everybody holding their flying down, each driver hitting in position to just really keep these things so under control, so in line and in balance. It's so difficult just to even get really to hang in with. Bryson Matthews slow off the pace here in the subway. Number 20, Ford Mustang, nearly gets clipped though, coming off right out of turn number 4 there. Both drivers coming okay with it. John Ryan nearly found himself on the receiving end a few times, and that could have been the receiving end for him to cost big time here. Double filed up right now. Alan Wilson and Brandon Sheffield here are going to go second place battling here as they look to try to get up there to Chris James. James starting to run away a little bit from the field, knowing he can get a good position and get some good traction in. I think he really has the opposition line up. Stay care. Although same can't quite be set up front. What a save by Alonso there. First time I've seen anybody really save it from that angle. He was dead on his rival, and then he brought that thing back to life. Unreal. Gino Alonso, man, great save, great driving and expertise by him to really keep that car from going out of here and out of the ballpark. But I don't know how long that'll last him for this one now. Tires definitely had to have been tore up a bit. Victor saying Kevin Woodford right now trying to get up closer and personal with both drivers here, looking to see if maybe make a run for it. Here the 0-1 of Brody Gunter, a lap down in the Auto Trader machine, really due to that little circumstance he suffered through in turn 4 earlier, where he actually smashed right into the wall and could not hold his line down in. Laps remain here on the show. And each one of these drivers just being extremely on their noses, on their tails. Down the bottom lane, we were looking at the back of the pack here, and we've got a battle here with Jason Jackson and Klein Schmidt. Klein Schmidt literally just driving this thing right into the field and in position here, as Rodrigo Loga trying to hang in there and do the same with him. That pay-to-win setups number 18. Trying to see if maybe he can get something going here with the crew and see if he can get something really in closer with that plan. Edward Kane, we've seen him last season. He was putting on a fight and a fray here multiple times on the track. Between Martinsville and Phoenix, he was never outdone and outspoken in his mind. He always had something to prove and something to show. Alan Wilson, that's 79. I don't know how that RTD machine is still working as hard as he is with Brand Sheffield there on the bottom lane in the end here. Sheffield trying, and I mean trying to get something going for him and the crew here. See if maybe he can make a move up to that race lead. But it hasn't quite gotten there just yet here, as we got problems down there for James South. And it looks like there's going to be even more trouble down there. Bryson Matthews as well, kind of caught off in a bad spot here. Both drivers kind of fouling in line, falling in bad places here, but there is no caution. Both drivers are okay enough to keep this thing green. And I think Sheffield was listening very, very carefully to that, because he just went straight full on hammer down to that 79. James starting to slow up a bit. Bryson Matthews all over the place here, trying to get on and off the track here. Just trying to get this thing squared away to get into pit road already. But he's having so much trouble with steering down there. It sounds like they've got to hurry and get this battle going here. Sheffield's mind, he needs to start driving it a little harder. He's going to bring it down low. James, this is your battle for the race lead. The Gear Wrench 82 and the 96. Edward Kane of Brandon Sheffield. Chevy versus Ford. Ford has the advantage, built Ford tough and built Ford on around. But the Chevys are not to be outwitted and outsmarted that easily. The 20 now of Bryson Matthews going to be down low. The race leaders tries to stay out of the way here as caution flies out here. There's problems down there for Colby Lindbergh. And yet again, it looks like it's turn number 2. That ends up being the culprit. Taking a look at it from the PTM Racing replay here, presented in part by the ButtKIcker company. And the True Timber 95 looked like he just overdrove it right here in turn number 2, and really nobody came close to touching him. But unfortunately, he could not keep that thing online, keep that thing under control. And that's really one of those toughest parts you really have to deal with, have to really struggle around. I think he was well aware that that car was gone entering in that turn because he just overdrove it, but that's kind of the scary part about it all. Did come out unscathed though. I had to still get a few bumps in there. Gotta get a few looks with that next gen test to really see if that car is as tough as they say. Don't really think that was what he was wanting though, and if he was wanting it at all, I don't think it was really like that. 6th caution of the day. So field will get squared away yet again here, race fans. We'll see what happens here when things get a little bit more heated, a little more hectic. The show has only just gotten straight to the first half. The second half is still in range, but we need to get to the first one to continue on with that.
With the ButtKIcker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKIcker, the future is feeling.
Welcome back, race fans. Now here still down here at Atlanta, Georgia, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here, the 1.5 mile old school version before the repaved version comes to iRacing. Still hosting some hard racers, some hard chargers here in this field and in this pack here today, to say the least here. Field squared away yet again here. Bring it back to that green flag restart zone. Then let's let them ride on again. Doyle, major problems. The 24 had to go down below the white line here. It looked like he had some problems getting that thing to square it away. Take him down 3 wide salute, and this could not end well. They get too close to it. Pretty close. 4 wide, nearly entering in. Can they hold him down? Whoa, that one got a little shaky, a little rough on the edges, but boy, did they work those fields in, and those cars worked extremely well to the advantage. Great driving by all involved and really keeping themselves out of trouble. As they come to 3 wide salute yet again here, still cleared of it, still good to go. The racing is still hard on their charge for the race lead. Sheffield is 96 trying to get something on Chris James. James was defending him off earlier on. Now looking to try to hang on a little bit. Whoa! A little spin down there, looks like for the number 16. Matthew Kleinschmidt lost off a turn 2, but he was able to bring it back on the back straight away and keep it in speed. Pretty impressive race in there, and pretty impressive moves there by both drivers to be able to keep up with the distance. The 66 of Nick Barassi right now moving up into the field, moving up in position here, looking to take some guys with them. Austin Derbyshire coming right up there in that 64 with the 6 up Ryan P. Traeger right at him. Coming down around the front straightaway here, nearly 3 wide, and yet again Granger Griesbaum, Brandon P. Tiger, and that 64 of Austin Derbyshire pretty much cutting it close, cutting it within range. Neither driver getting into a bit of a scruffle there, but they were able to still speed him on. Edward Kay now moving right back in. Derek Whitford now makes his attempt up to the front. He is right in the crust, in the field of position. He's drafting that 79 of Alan Wilson as much as he can, trying to help get him and that 79 lined up to try to knock down the 82 of Chris James. James has been completely so on the road, on the spot, just keeping himself so consistent and really hanging in there. Rocky Harpin's down that 71, trying to move up right to the chains here with the 92. Spencer Clark getting right in behind him. Timmy the Babcock. Oh, Babcock has nothing left for them. He doesn't care for any of them. He goes straight low and just slingshots a 3 wide right past them. Nicely done by the 99. But oh my, he is going to have a lot of work to do still if he wants to get up to that front, because that pack is about a 10.5 second gap ahead of him. Oh, but he might get a chance here as long as they can try to save it back there behind him. The 95 loose off of turn 2, hangs on. Nearly lost it in the corner there. Nice save by Lindbergh, but that was nearly gone in, out, and done for. Kenneth Whitford, the Liquid Deathly, seeing it all kind of transpire right in front of him. Steve roll up right now. Currently dealing with that 92. Right beside him here, the substitute driver of Spencer Clark, trying to hang in there just a little bit, trying to stay in place to make a run off here for both ends, trying to get something going for that later half of the race here. Alan Wilson still trying to get around Chris James. Chris James, man, I don't know what the heck he is doing up there that's blocking these boys so much, but I have to think a little bit of that has to be the dirty air, which we would think would get kind of cleared up from the transducers, as well as the suspension and the framework down on the bottom end of that 82. But somehow that's not quite the case here. Derek Whitford backing off here a little bit, bumping and banging though up front. The 9 Lawrence Shinesty Jr. Well, he's not going to take any grief from anybody, neither Brandon Sheffield. Sheffield's got a little damage on that front side of that car, as that 9 puts the big old rabbit right up ahead here, but he's got company still coming up from him. The 86 Jason Jackson trying to get right up there with him, trying to move in pace and move into position here, take him over from this one. Still has yet to clear out around, still has yet to get himself into too much problems or any issues there, but again, I maybe jinxed him a little bit for just saying that. I hope not. They certainly have held on everything, and they've done a great job really keeping these things in place and in position, to say the least. Derek Whitford, the 24 right now, trying to deal with Shaughnessy Jr. here. Shaughnessy, yes, obviously giving him everything he's got, trying to get to that top side here. As the 86 here, Jason Jackson stays towards the bottom and just slingshots 2 for the price of 1. Talk about hammer down for that Jackson camp. Rodrigo Loga right now looking to maybe keep himself in place, keep himself under control. The entire field still keeping it under control and keeping it pretty subtle here for these last 60-odd laps. 60 laps so around this place is no easy task, no easy feat. It still can be very tricky to keep under control. Oh, as I had to say that. Caution flag is out here, and I'm not really sure where that one's coming from here. Looks like Davis Shively might be the culprit here. Oh, he's definitely the culprit. And the 85 has come to a dead stop here. Unfortunately, on the front straightaway. We'll take a look at the PTM instant replay. And it looks like the Pennzoil Shell 85 went into the wall, and he just could not hold that thing on line with the other guys right in front of him actually wrecked out as well. And that is where the carnage kind of started and came from in this case here. What a tough break there for them in this scenario, in this circumstance. Again, that's really one of those things as a driver, you don't want to see it happen, you don't want to see things like that kind of come up, but I mean, it is what it is sometimes. So, field right now getting squared away yet again. And top 5 drivers, Kleinschmidt, Jackson, Derbyshire, Babcock, and James will be your top 5 in this one yet again. So double file them up for the restart zone, and everyone will get squared back away here. 60 laps remain in this one. Bringing them right around town, back on in place here yet again. Drivers preparing to go back at it. And green flag back on out. We're back underway. Ooh, not sure where that went wrong there, but it looks like a little bit of something happened there on our end there. Apologies about that, folks. Not really sure where that kind of came from or what that happened with. Looks like the Coach Captain Gremlin decided to come back and try to get us again here, but thankfully we are safe and sound. We're all good to go here, so sorry about that. Anyway, back to the action here. Nick Barassi now on the 66, moving his way up over this field in this place here. Trying to make a little bit of a charge here, get it right back around. Drivers yet again, though, off of turn number 2, losing control, spinning them on by. Everyone stays green, though. Nobody giving out just yet here, and really I think it's kind of the best thing you can really ask for from these drivers. Knowing that they cannot give in, they cannot give out. Chris James is already back in the lead. He's got a full second on these boys already. Kleinschmidt and Barassi right now still at each other's game, at each other's lineup here. Neither one wanted to give it an inch or give anything out on this run. That's one of those things you just kind of got to keep your eye out, though, especially considering when you see drivers going into the infield lawn care service business here. Aiden Doyle Slowing down hard and off the charge, and caution's going to fly on now. Holy smokes, what a little bit of a break there, unfortunately, for the 24. What a wild, wild ride that one was. It came hard off that end. See right off of turn 4, he just ramped that thing up, almost sent it straight sky high. Try to brake and not wreck anyone out. Unfortunately, was not successful. Drivers got into it and got clipped in with it. And sadly, that will slow everyone back in place yet again. And Chris James, I gotta believe right now, probably not too thrilled with the fact that he's ran so hard and so quickly, yet he can't just seem to get away from these guys quick enough. So Eugenio Alonso, 27 right now, going to try and see if maybe he can bring home some speed, some control for his team. His teammates have not had such luck except for Rodrigo Loga. He's the only other one left in his colleague's lineup. Argentina, Canada, all represented here, as well as America. The Americans here trying to give themselves something to really think about, something to really kind of keep a close eye on here and try and show up these drivers here. Third, 50 laps now left to go. Field now centered away yet again. We're back to get them ready squared up on the track. Riding them down on the track side here yet again. Bring them back down into the pace. Into the field we go. And it's time to ram these boys up into the field. And then some big moments kind of coming up here. Again, with this only about 50 laps remaining, you really got to start thinking and asking yourself, do you want to try and make big moves, or do you want to try and make some serious runoffs on these guys? Yeah, whether or not you look at it from multiple angles, really there is only one angle you got to look at it from, and that is the mind of the driver. And especially when you see things like this happen right there, Babcock loose off 4-2. Just can't seem to get away from trouble and can't seem to get away from that problematic area that keeps plaguing him here in this race. A little bit of a battle back up into the field. Darby Shire here in that 64 having a little tussle here with the 71 of Rocky Hopkins. File it ends here, some double file runs off from these guys. Everyone trying to find some openings, trying to see what they can get here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's so difficult though because of how narrow it can be for some of these drivers to consistently hit their runoffs and hit their big spots off. And I'll tell you right now, those angles off those exits of 4 and 2 very much so really get extremely difficult to hang on or really keep under control with. The 81 of Jaden Hop right now looks like it's time for the 80. It's time for him to come alive here, trying to hop into the playing field. Like we've seen the bunny hopping around earlier, but Jaden Hop ain't no ordinary hopper. He is a jumper, and he likes to jump right into the mix of things and into the race lead when he can. He's looking for it. He is giving it all she's got here on this late half of the run here. Well, they go 3 wide, sliding it into the wall though, down off turn 4. The 81 of Hop gets clipped in with Andrew Grease bomb, and there is absolute pandemonium right here on that front straightaway. No caution though. No caution whatsoever. The drivers are going to run this one out. Kind of a crazy little scenario to really have that happen. I would have thought that at least deserves something to be kind of kept a closer eye on, kept a bit of a closer end off of, but now they're going to let him keep racing. On down back to the back straightaway here. Movement coming from the Cool Breeze 44. Movement coming from the 18 as well of Rodrigo Loga. Loga and Alonso have been the last 2 drivers remaining in this field and in this position. Really trying to hold up, trying to hold in place, trying to keep everything they can going. Well, that's 64 of Austin Derbyshire. Still does his own thing, just kind of hanging in the middle run, trying to see if he can get a runner off on the outside while saving tires there. You see the 18 really just starting to have all sorts of problems holding it down. Jason Jackson now running it right down on the lower end here. Now he starts to make a bit of a charge back up into the field. He's got top 10 locked in his sights if he can hang in there. Right now, Chris James 2 seconds ahead of the second place driver, Lawrence Shanissi Jr. Klein Schmidt been just completely doing everything he can to hang in there too with this field. Still really working every ounce of it. You can see that E-Speed 71 though, of Rocky Harpus, man, he's on the bottom lane. It's not holding on one little bit. Starting to slow up a bit here. Bryson Matthews having some problems down there yet again. The 20 has had all sorts of problems throughout this race and throughout this timing and event and a showcase really for him and his crew. I'm not really sure if some of it just has to be a little bit of the inexperience that old Atlanta has on the track, or maybe he was expecting to really push a little bit more speed out on there, but it is not looking good for him. Alright, 5 laps now, running right down to the ledge, right down to the edge of it here. And almost right up on for the E-Speed Racing side of things. Traeger nearly clipping right in there with that number 79 of Alan Wilson. Man, this is some strong, partaking, all-out kind of battles and fights here from these drivers. That's the kind of racing you come to expect. Definitely not pack racing, definitely not the usual subsets you would see. It's more or less just drivers going one at a time, over and under, over and around, trying to find openings when they can, taking positions over where they got to. That's kind of hard racing. You would have came to expect here of the old Atlanta configuration here on iRacing end here, but again, you know, that new configuration coming up here in due time as well makes you kind of think and wonder yourself, like, what will it be like when we do see that pop up? If it's anything like what we see right now from real life, I'd say it'd be interesting, but I don't know if that 82 of Chris James would find it very interesting, considering he is the one that's leading this entire field in, packed up and racked on the track. Well, Brandon Sheffield right now, maybe the surprise of these bunches and of this track here. He is currently a lap down of all things. Despite literally having a chance to go for the race lead earlier, his pit stops and his strategies unfortunately kind of fell victim to the struggles and power plays that involves running at this track. Double filed up yet again here. 3 double deep here. Everyone now, I guess I had to mention anything about pack racing. Well, this is about as close as you'll get with these guys here. Alan Wilson, Edward Kane just starting to get a little bit closer and closer to the final laps here, the closing ends of this race, and it's been pretty much a fight and a half here for every single one of these drivers out here. Derek Woodford, Derbyshire here, still battling back and forth here, trying to keep up with these fields. This is position. Edward Kane, Alan Wilson, and Nick Barassi right now literally in a heated fight and fray. That is the pack that is going on right now for this top 5 slot. Man, just absolutely so smooth, so unique. Pretty close on the counter, close on the Richter scale here. Never really seemed like any driver was given any room or any breathing time, but at the same time, they were given all the time to really make it work here. The onboard camera there for Mr. Edward Kane here shows just really what he's up to and really kind of what he's having to deal with right behind him on his end. Meanwhile, the leaders up front still continuing to hold down the line, hold down their charge. And just like that, things get a little bit too crazy, a little too out of hand, and things are really bad down there for Olaf again. Olaf having some problems down here once again here, unfortunately. Yeah, the 80-man Olaf just completely drove it in and had nowhere to go. So Jason Jackson will have the race lead now with Chris James behind him, Lawrence Tanessi Jr., and Edward Kane, Nick Barassi getting one last chance. Really to make a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a fray at both drivers here. when we come back. We're going to finish this one out from the end to the beginning. Can Chris James make one last run and take down Jason Jackson, or can Jackson finally end the run that's costing him and the other drivers a chance to put this one in victory lane, put James behind? Find out when we return.
With the ButtKIcker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKIcker, the future is feeling.
So here we go, race fans, back on PTM Racing TV. This is now time to showcase the big final here from the ninth caution here, though, out of this gate. Coming to the restart, 20 laps left to go. Takes about 5 or 6 laps for these tires to get burnt up and tore up a little bit. They wear up at about 2 to 3 if you hit them harder, but it's just holding them on down the track. Can they do so? Will they be able to do so as they bring them right around off of turn number 4? This one will be a huge restart. This sets the tone for the final here. Right, I'm on down the back straightaway here. Field is in a hot brigade, hot pursuit. Eugenio Alonso right now trying one last time, one last chance to get back to the spot he qualified first in today. A little bit of a loose end there. Two drivers getting loose. Try to stay away from tagging each other. They keep okay. Everything stays okay. They'll stay under the green. Edward Kane Lawrence Senesi Jr. falling way behind Chris James's pace. Pace has already set this pace up for him. Lining them on down the back straightaway here. They are in a hot gain, hot battle here. Every single one of these drivers not giving an inch. The 64 of Austin Derbyshire right now is looking to hopefully hang on. No one is giving an inch. No one is giving out in this one. They are doing whatever they have to try to hope for the best, hope for a last-ditch effort. Derbyshire trying to keep up and trying to keep up some position here and maybe looking for some openings or two if he can. No telling what happens next. No telling what will come next here. These drivers only know one thing, and that's just hope for the best and hope this does not end up in a worse spot for wear. Chris James is still holding this line down, holding this place in field here, and Eugenio Alonso finally getting a run on here, Lawrence Shinesty Jr., but it was not quite enough, or was it before the caution came out? Jaden Hopp once again troubles for the 81. And another look at it from the other angles. Oh, huge wreck there on the sixth, and man, Jaden Hopp, he went for a wild ride. Nice save though, except for the cone there. Unfortunately, the cone didn't quite take the same fate as well. Brian Traeger, I'm not really sure what happened to him exactly. Here, we'll take a look at it from another right angle here. Got loose off there off turn 4 there, him between Derbyshire and him. And you can see that's when Hopp got clipped hard here. Traeger, I gotta believe, really didn't have any idea what happened until it was too little too late. Same could really be said for Hopp as well. When we get that restart zone, it'll be 10 laps left to go, and really, James does not look like he's going to hold off anything here. It looks like he's just going to continue to just drive this thing into the ground like he's been all day. 10 laps remain. Talk about a big moment coming up for these drivers. Now this is no longer wait it out and see what happens. This is now throw everything to the wire and go for it. Every single one of these drivers know they have got to stay clear. They've got to stay focused on the goal at hand, or this could be a very wild moment coming up here. Off of turn number 4, reeling back down in once again. James will try to get the immediate jump start, get him gut right ahead. Right him down into turn number 3, down turn number 4 here. They're still clean as a whistle here right now. Alan Wilson moving up right up with Derek Whitford as Eugenio Alonso closes the gap slightly on James entering into the turns, but he's got to be careful about what lays behind him. Now with about 9 laps left to go here, this is starting to get a little bit crazier. Hecticness starting to take onto the fray. Eugene Alonso, oh no, in trouble down there for him. He overdrove it off corner number 4, sends it into the grassy plains, opened up his own lawn care service. He's got to try to get that thing squared away. It's not enough time though for him to get back on the speed. This is a tough break for Alonso. He literally had every chance to take it, but he'll catch a break here of Rocky Harbin's, causing a big wreck down on turn 2. And Brandon Sheffield smashed right in front of there with 71 of Harbin's. Oh my. Man, what a huge hit, unfortunately, for that 71. He took a huge hit there. Yeah, you can see right there, man, what, it looked like a motor might have gone on one of the drivers there. Then bam, 2 huge hits. That 71 took 2 disgusting hits, man, from the 31 and the 96. Oh my goodness. Try to see if we can see up front. I think that might have been Lawrence Shaughnessy Jr. Yeah, that was Shaughnessy. He actually lost it in the turn. Saved it, but the 71 clips him right in and destroys everything in their sights. You can see the damage done right behind him in there. This is pretty much now turning into a green-white checkered scenario now popping up. Well, Chris James, pretty much this entire day has just been lights out on these drivers. It's been lights off on everything that they've been trying to take him down with. Just can't seem to hold him back or hold down his field. is there really anything left out of these cars, much as anything out of these drivers? I mean, this has been absolutely hectic to say the least for those that are trying to push their limits and trying to push themselves to their fullest potential. Looks like the lights will turn off on the pace car, which signifies 3 to go. Make it a green-white checkered if they can't get this one in. Three laps remain here, coming down off of turn number 4. Somebody's gonna pop away with the W here, but who will it be? Off the corner ends, one more time by. Can we finish this one out? We've got 3 to do it. Chris James is not going to be left alone this time. Derek Whitford and Alan Wilson are right on his tail. Whitford going up a little higher than James. Alan Wilson going a little bit right where Whitford went. We're going right back down onto James' line. Neither one driver trying to give it everything they can. They don't want to give out. They don't want to lose in this. They're hoping and praying for some help, throwing for some little momentum to get that grip there right up on James. A little push in the draft from Wilson to Whitford. Whitford trying to get the cool breeze right at them, but there's not enough time because there's going to be a low Steve Olive getting it again. Olaf yet again brings out the caution. Now we have a 3 green-white checkered scenario coming up. You see Aiden Doyle there right off that corner of turn number 2. Lost control. Got it loose, and everybody else right behind him tried to save it, but unfortunately Olaf not quite able to save it from that angle, and that is exactly what ends up kind of giving him the troubles here. Well, 3 attempts now for a green-white checkered, and James, I gotta believe, is probably still a little fuming back in that pit cockpit, just thinking he almost had this one dialed up and finished out. one more time by here. We'll double file them up and we'll let them ride off into the sunset with this race here in field. So now the time has come here to see what will transpire here, what will bring down onto the playing field and onto the zone. Can James hold off just a little longer? Can he keep this one in check and keep this one in play? That remains to be unseen, but we'll find out here shortly. We'll bring him around down off turn number 4 yet again with one last chance or hope with 3 of them to go. Green flag back. Oh no, 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 no. Oh my. And just when you think we were going to go, we are not going to go. Victor Stank, the 68, wrecked hard there right out of the front straightaway. Oh man, what a tough little start here. I was just taking a look at it. That 68 just overdrove it off the line. You see Edward Kane got clipped in, went from green to yellow literally as quick as like that. You see the official getting that out of there. He did not like what he saw when he knew it was happening. There's only 2 attempts left to go. Let's take a look at it here from this angle. Watch that throttle just go full haywire. Knew he was in trouble as soon as that happened, and he was already just kind of costing this one up. Got crossed up, really couldn't get anywhere out of there, and now the field having to slow up completely just to let the pace car get by them, so there's no internal penalties or anything like that they have to suffer through. Looks like we'll take him one more time by here, and then we're going to let him go right back out of here with only 2 to go. They've got 2 chances left to get this one in. One more to go. This is now the time we're going to take those caution lights, turn them off on the pace car here. This 13th caution of the day, and usually 13th is the unluckiest of numbers, but I'd say in this case, it might be our lucky number. Can James hold off Whitford? Can Barris, or even Wilson steal this one from any of them? Whitford is looking to try to do the unthinkable and knock down James as well. Here these drivers are locked and loaded, guns ready to be fired here down at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Atlanta, Georgia, be ready. We're about to finish this one on out. Off of corner number 4. One more time by. Let's get this one wrapped up here on the show. They stay clear. Pretty clear so far. Pretty good. Get them to the line here. They get that white flag out. Doesn't matter what happens next. It's just pretty much then whoever can race this one to the end. Whitford getting blocked there by Wilson a little bit. Wilson looking for a one last ditch effort, little run here to pull off right on the field as our white flag comes on out. Wilson and Whitford going to throw one last haymaker here, trying to get out there to James, but I don't think they're going to get into it. James just literally ran him off, ran down the end of the field here. Every single one of these drivers can't catch him. He'll bring it right off in the gear wrench number 82 to turn 3, down into turn number 4. The Ford Mustang's going to take this one home and win at Atlanta. And Chris James literally pops away with a huge win in a big battle here. What a performance and what a run here for the Louisville native. Just completely tore this one apart, took this one to some new heights, and seriously took these drivers for quite the ride. And this one, I gotta believe, meant a lot for him and his crew here. We'll talk with the top 3 in just a moment here, but here are your final results now. Pop it up on your screen. Chris James, Derek Whitford, Alan Wilson will be your top 3. Nick Rossi, Finn Alonso, Darby Derbyshire, Traeger, Kane, Griesbaum, and Woodford go in the top 10. The rest of your finishers on the display and on the performance show here. The 36 drivers here today, man, what a fight and a half. Every single one of them had to endure, had to go through just to try to hold off, try to hold down the field and in the runs. Alan Wilson right now waiting his arrival here. We'll wait for him to come on down, but I think he is ready to go here from Highside Racing. It's time to talk with our top 3 drivers here. Your third place finisher joins me in now, ladies and gentlemen, here coming to us in the 79. It'll be Alan Wilson coming away third here. And Alan, congratulations on that third place finisher, sir. And boy, what a long run you had to just completely take in for the positions and the runs around here at Atlanta. That certainly looked like a hectic battle between you and Whitford at the end there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we come off of 4 there, and I cleared him, and he just got right in the back of me and kind of sitting to the inside. He got second. I ended up with third, but we'll take it. Good night for the Highside Racing boys.
For sure there now. There was a lot of run on that high side today. Was the outside line just really the kind of the area you wanted to go with to save tires, or was that where the run really was?
The run, and my car just really wasn't set up to drive on the bottom that well, so I was much quicker on the top, and that's where I tried to stay all night.
Well, I stayed up there all night, and it ended up working out in your way, in your favor. So as you come away here with a third place finish, Alan, dude, you want to thank for that?
I thank all the guys at Highside, Lawrence and Chris, Victor, Jaden, all the guys back at the shop, Race Tools Direct, and Bumper Thumper Traction Compound, and shout out to my mom and dad watching at home.
For sure there. Whenever that's Alan, congratulations on this third place finish, sir. Great job and a great race end for you.
Yep, thanks to Lawrence too, and everybody. Thank you guys for putting on a great broadcast.
Appreciate the support. Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher today, Alan Wilson, the 79. Coming away, second place here, though, will be Derek Whitford, that 44. And Derek, congratulations on that one, too. I know we just talked to Wilson a second ago about your battle with him, and you two literally went down to the wire, haymakers and all. But Derek, man, you had to make that big ditch pass to try to get around him, then to get to James. But James looked like he just kind of found another leg and just got around you guys way too quickly.
Yeah, he was fast out there. I was trying to get clear of Allen. I just couldn't quite get there on the that green white checker, and we just battled to the end, and he got just clear of me, and I was trying to cross over. There was just no room there, so I got into the back of him unintentional there. But I mean, that's part of racing, I guess. I just feel bad about that.
For sure. I know there's a lot that kind of goes into the sport, kind of goes around the track side here, and I know there's a lot of bump and runs, a lot of kind of corner exit offs, and you're in tough little tracks. Like how were you able to keep this car really more online, more in check here when things got a bit hectic here on the final laps?
Trying to prioritize that high line because that was where you needed to be. It was really hard to pass on the inside unless you had a really good run. So I just tried to stay out there and try not to make the same mistake I made early in the race where I got into the wall, and just try to keep it clean.
For sure there. Well, you kept it clean and kept it on down for a strong ending to this. So who do you want to thank you for second?
I just want to thank you for putting on this broadcast. Thank the league, Shake and Bake Racing, putting on a good show this year. We've got a great field, pretty much a full roster now, and it's really exciting. Thank my teammates, and just thank all the guys for being here because it's a blast with this many cars.
It certainly is indeed a good showing for you and your crew. Congratulations on that second place finisher, sir, Mr. Whitford.
Thank you.
Derek Whitford, ladies and gentlemen, comes away second here in that 44, but your winner today at Atlanta will be Chris James in that 82. And James, congratulations first off on this one, and really just all around, it seemed like you were the driver to beat. You were the guy everyone wanted to beat out, and yet you still just never seemed to just let off. Did you have any real problems just keeping these tires more on wraps than anyone else, or what was the thing, man? You just had so much speed.
It was Atlanta's one of my better tracks. I'm really sad to see it go. But car was handling pretty good. We could put it pretty much anywhere except the bottom. I didn't want to be down at the bottom. There was a point in the race where Sheffield got around me because I almost money shifted, or actually I did money shift to third. About blew my motor. But anyway, once he got in front of me, I tried to pass down low, could not make it stick down there. So the high side was definitely where our car was best suited to be.
Certainly, indeed, there. And what were really the misshifting and the mistiming, was that kind of a fear that really kind of strung on to your mindset there with that last bit of run? Because you guys had quite a few last minute cautions there that kind of really could have changed the landscape if you guys weren't careful there, wasn't it?
I was terrified every single restart because it was going into 1 and 2. I mean, the car was really loose, so we were ready to loop it at any moment there. And it doesn't hurt that my shifter is out of commission at the moment. I got to reach over to shift with my up and down arrow keys.
Well, I mean, pretty impressive considering what you had to work with, how you had to deal with that in this case here. But what a performance and an absolute barn burner in the end. You are, without a doubt, the race winner and deserving of it. So, James, who do you want to thank for this one today, my friend?
Shout out to my guys back at Triad Racing Enterprises. Shout out to you guys, PTM from the booth for broadcasting, Aiden Doyle for putting on an awesome league. I'm not sure if he's got any other partners. Maybe Lawrence. And Highside for letting me tag along with their team in voice chat tonight. Keep me company.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, James, congratulations on this race win. Very well deserved for you here in Atlanta.
Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris James in the 82 walks away with the W and the victory. And race fans, that's all going to do it for our coverage here today for the ButtKIcker Cup Series of Shake and Bake Racing League. Thank you everyone that tuned on in. Thank you so much all that came on out. We appreciate your support. And thank you for all you've brought to us here this entire season. From all of us here at PTM Racing TV, stay safe out there and be good. I'll see you guys next time.